that handicapping show. I'm Claire Novak, joined by Frank Angst here on the backside of Churchill Downs for Kentucky Derby 140. Last year, Frank and I both picked the winner, Orb, who was the favorite. This year, we're both kind of tempted to go against. California Chrome won his past four by 24 1/4 lengths. Comes into this race off a Santa Anita Derby win, but Frank, you and I kind of a little skeptical about a few different things about him.
I think the morning line on California Chrome is pretty close to what it'll go off at, 5-2. 3-1, maybe 7-2. So I think it is going to be one of the biggest favorites we've seen in a while. But I still have some lingering questions about his breeding, some questions about his running style in this field, where there figures to be quite a few horses with that similar early presser running style, where we could see a big group of horses maybe right behind the initial front runners. That could create some chaos. If he wins the race and we have a new superstar in the sport, great.
Yay.
But in terms of handicapping, he might not be the best bet on Saturday.
Yeah, a couple concerns with him. You know, he clears the field easily in his races, hasn't really had to belly down in the lane. Another thing, talking about traffic for him, haven't really seen him had to deal very much with it. And a couple of times in his races, he's gotten a slow start out of the gate. So, Frank, you and I both kind of scratching our heads. I was really proud of myself last night because I got the field down to 9 horses that I thought, and that's less than half the field, that I thought could win. And then this morning, opportunity came out, so now I'm at 8.
Yeah, I suppose if you like California Chrome, the good news is you've got your win bet set, and maybe you're looking at some exotic bets. But if you don't like California Chrome, you have to dig pretty deep into this race and look at a lot of different horses, some evenly matched horses here. I settled on Wicked Strong. This horse made me a lot of money in the Wood Memorial, so maybe that's my loyalty. But I do think he has the right running style. I'm a bit concerned about the 20 post, but I think he'll be able to drop over. And I don't think he's going to be like last or anything like that. I think he's going to be reasonably close, fine position in that first turn. And I do like that being on the outside, he doesn't figure to get blocked in when he does decide to make his run.
All right, so you're taking Wicked Strong. I'm going to take Medal Count for trainer Dale Romans. This is a horse who came into this race off a conventional path. He ran in the Transylvania Stakes at Keeneland, which was off the turf, ran very well on the polytrack there. They flipped him around and ran him in the Bluegrass Stakes, where he ran second, ran a very good race. This horse has been training great over the track. I love the way he looks. And Dale Romans said with this horse, he's been stressed about not being stressed. He said there's nothing to worry about. All the pieces are falling together. The other day I was at his barn. I said, which post position would you like to draw? He said, the one in the auxiliary gate where we get the space. Guess which post position Medal Count drew? All the pieces seem to be falling in place for that horse, and like I said, he looks great. Really hard for me to go against Danza, though. Danza, and one you would really, we were talking earlier in the show, looks phenomenal coming off the track, won the Arkansas Derby at 41-1 for Todd. But one of the concerns is that this horse maybe ran his biggest race in the Arkansas Derby.
Yeah, Danza to me looks like a horse. For one thing, he's looked great all week. In my opinion, he's looked better than any of the Derby horses on the track all week. I'm not sure they'll get the exact same track on Saturday, but he has looked good. I think he's going to get a similar run that he had in the Arkansas Derby. He has speed to his inside. I think Joe Bravo will angle over to the rail and try to make that inside move as he did in the Arkansas Derby. So those are definitely some things in his favor. The concern is anybody that subscribes to the bounce theory, this would be your poster child. I mean, this is a horse that ran by far his best race in the Arkansas Derby, now just has 3 weeks turnaround. Todd Pletcher usually gives his horses more rest than that. I still like Danza, though. I'm going to use him in my exotics.
All right, speaking of exotics, let me tell you about some other horses that I like. Samrat comes into this race off a second in the Wood Memorial. Previously undefeated before then, New York bred. Would love to see him get the win. A horse that I think is going to be a little bit overlooked, at least on the backside this week, has been kind of overlooked, is Candy Boy. You know, he's been a very consistent runner. In the Santa Anita Derby, maybe you would have liked to see a better effort from him, but I think he's going to come back off that race and actually run better. He's been training very well here in the mornings. I'll throw out a couple others for you to think about. Ride on Curlin. I don't know how you can throw out a horse who every single time he runs in the race, he hits the board. He's been third, second last time in the Arkansas Derby. I think you really have to include him. And an interesting horse that I'm looking at, and I don't know quite what I think about, General A-Rod. Had that kind of lousy work, came back and worked in blinkers under Joel Rosario, who won the Derby last year. He has the mount. Out of Mike Maker's horses, I'd say he's the one that I'm most interested in.
I won't be so bold as to completely toss California Chrome on my horizontal plays. I'll still have him there. Some other horses that I'll definitely have in my horizontal or vertical plays include Samrat. I really like the Wood Memorial. I think it was the best prep going into the Derby. I think it was a strong race. That horse can rate. He started out as a front runner. He definitely rates now. Tapiture is still a horse I'm not willing to totally part ways with. He was my early Derby pick. I liked his work this week. I like how he gets over the track, and if you toss the Arkansas Derby, he is right there. And Dance with Fate has looked great on this track. He's a Grade 1 winner. The question is how he handles the surface. I can tell you in the mornings he's handling it.
All right. Well, as you can tell, we're still kind of trying to figure out this field. I talked to Dwayne Lucas the other day, and he said, this is actually a very interesting complexion this year. And he probably says that every year, but he was saying, it's a real head-scratcher, pretty interesting. He's looking forward to watching, as are we. We will bring you all the latest news, updates, bloodhorse.com. Follow us on Twitter at BHF Angst and at BHC Novak. I do know my own name. For Frank, I'm Claire. Thanks for watching the Handicapping Show. Happy Derby Day.